cheddar, blue. Hi, my name is Isma, and I'm going to talk about the process of cheese making. Before we get to the interview, I want to talk about the process of cheese making and its steps. So step 1, the process of cheese making starts with the cow. Once the cow has a calf, the cow is milked 2 to 3 times a day and can give about 15 gallons a day. Step 2, the milk must be pasteurized to ensure the milk is safe. Step 3, if using coloring, this is the time to add it, followed with calcium chloride to produce a thick curd. It adds lipase to add more flavor to the cheese. If you are making a mozzarella, you also want to add citric acid in this step to increase the acidity. But if you are making a brie or a blue, you want to add mold powders in this step. Step 4, add your cultures to ripen your milk. Step 5, add rennet and mix gently for about a minute. Then cut curds to expel whey and cook after. Step 6, mold your cheese. Step 7, brine the cheese to slow down the acid development and encourage rind formation on hard cheeses. Step 8, age the cheese in a room of 52 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit with about 80 to 90% humidity. Step 9, package and sell. This step is optional. So I have a couple questions for you. What is your official title and how did you get it?
My official title is the Certified Cheese Professional. I got it by passing a test administered by the American Cheese Society that they did last year in Pittsburgh.
And can you briefly explain the process of cheese making?
So there's a few basic steps, but most cheeses kind of take different turns when you get deeper into it. But the basic steps are to first curdle the milk. So you would add cultures to the raw milk, and that would change it into, so it would eventually turn into curds and whey. And then what you would do is you would cut the curds, different sizes depending on the kind of cheese that you're making. And then after that would be the salting and drying and pressing stages.
And then the third question, can you show and explain the differences between the manchego and the blue?
So there's quite a few differences in the manchego and the blue. The first one is going to be, the manchego is going to be much more firm. It's going to be tougher cheese. That's because when they did when they cut the curds, they probably cut them into like rice-sized granules, not big chunks. As opposed to the blue cheese, it's a little bit softer, so they probably cut it into smaller or into larger curds. And when they do that, it's going to keep more whey, so that'll keep more moisture, which is going to keep it soft. The next thing is that when they press the manchego, they press it much more firmly and harder in a tighter press than they did the blue cheese. Also, a unique thing for a manchego on the back side of it is those little lines. So what they do with manchego is they put an egg wash on the outside, and then they'll stamp it with a stamp. And then but the blue cheese, everybody knows the blue cheese for their veins. So what they'll do with blue cheese is the cultures that create the blue are actually already in the cheese. They don't add those later. Those live in the cheese, and all they have to do to activate those is when they have the wheel of cheese, they'll poke it with some sort of poking mechanism, and it'll get air into the cheese, and then that will let the blue cheese bloom like that.
Okay, thank you, Josh. These are all of the questions that I have for you.